and a little bit more parmesan. That is absolutely fabulous. Hi everyone, welcome to Backyard Chef. I'm Rick. Today we're doing a herby chicken meatball spaghetti in a nice tomato sauce. Easy weeknight meal. Now I've already got ground chicken. Come on. In here we have our breadcrumbs. In here, milk. Rehydrate your breadcrumbs. Nice little stir over. It's worth rehydrating those breadcrumbs before you make your meatballs. It keeps it nice and succulent. So we're just going to chuck that to one side. We don't need that just yet. What we need to do is grate up an onion. Grate half an onion in there, small onion. We only want a bit of flavour. So there's no point going absolutely crackers and putting lots in. Now you could actually just mince it fine if you wanted to, but it'd be better to grate for this one. Right, garlic. I'm going to do the same with the garlic actually. Just a little grating on there. Fabulous. That's small enough for our meatballs. So I've got that other half of onion. I've got some onion and a little bit of garlic. That we want for our sauce. So we're not going to waste this onion. We are just going to fine dice. Well, we're not fine dicing it actually. We're just dicing it. It doesn't matter. So same with this. Garlic for this one. Quick whiz over. I'm putting that on the onion. A little bit of parsley. I've got some fresh parsley for this, and I'm also using some Italian herbs. Go as fine as you like. That's good enough for me. So we're going in there with that garlic and onion we've just grated. What, some black pepper. Salt and pepper as much as you like. It's down to taste. Bit of salt in there. Bit of parmesan in there. Now I have an egg. Give that a beat up. And that's going in there. We've got that parsley going in there. I'm going to savour just a little bit to go over our dish at the end. And I'm going in there with some Italian herbs. Italian herbs, link in the description and on the channel now. Just give that a little stir. And then we want the start of the show, our chicken mince. Now it's either a hand in or just mix it in. Give it a good mix, come on. That's got it, I reckon. Look at that. Okay, just let that sit. Let it sit on the side just for about 5-6 minutes. Let all those breadcrumbs take on the moisture from the chicken. Okay, when you've had 5 minutes, grab yourself a tray, because what we're going to do is roll our meatballs and just put them on a tray. And then they're ready to go. Now, you decide how big you want your meatballs. And what you need is a little tub of water. Just damp your hands and get some meatball. And decide how big you want them. Now, I think that's about big enough. You've got a nice little meatball there, look. I'll put that on there. Come on. Now obviously the bigger they are, they're going to take longer to cook. But it's a 2-stage cook this. We fry off to crisp around the sides, and then we put inside our sauce. So they are going to be fully cooked. So it depends how big you want to go. Right, wash dandies. And that is our meatballs ready to go. Look at those, superb. Okay, grab yourself a pan. Okay, well you can chuck all olive oil in there or you can mix it. Go in with a neutral oil and olive oil. So you're going to get a fry with the olive oil flavour. Put a flame on, a slight low to medium, and then start going in there with your meatballs. So what you do with your meatball, you just leave it to sit a second because it will stick to the bottom of the pan, and when you've had a minute you then nice little shufty underneath and it'll release. You don't have to scrape and scrape, and all you're doing is flipping them over. Now these are definitely not going to be cooked through. They're going to be finished off in the sauce. But we want to put a little bit of colour on there, because if not they're going to look ugly and white. So when you've got enough colour on your meatballs, out they come. Nice and steady, just into a tub. In with those others. Nice and straightforward. Now the good thing about recipes like this, the meatballs can be prepped way ahead of time. Way ahead of time. You can make these in the morning, come back and just get on and cook in the evening. Easy. They even freeze. Cook the things and freeze them. And you just bring them out, chuck some spaghetti in, chuck some sauce in, and just cook the chicken balls in the sauce to reheat. So simple. Okay, let's get those out of there. That'll do. Nice and straightforward. So that's our meatballs ready to go back in our sauce. Now you decide whether you want to use all that oil that's in there. Entirely up to you, or you want to take some out. So I've taken a little bit out there, look. In there, garlic and onions. Nice little steady saute on your onions and your garlic. Just cook out the rawness. A little bit of salt, not much. A little bit of pepper, up to you how much. I'm just going to go in there with some oregano, and I'm adding Italian seasoning. Little shufty round in there. Okay, when you've had a little minute on there and that rawness has gone, we've had about 3 minutes actually. We want to be adding our tomato paste, but we've got a can of tomatoes, the whole tomatoes. We're going to go in with the juice first. That is going to loosen everything on the pan, and it's guaranteed that we will not burn anything in here. And you want a couple of tablespoons of tomato paste. Don't forget, we're making a tomato sauce. Now we do want some sugar, but sugar's optional. You don't have to if you don't want to. A little bit of sugar on there. Work with that sourness of the tomato. Stir it in and just cook out the rawness of that tomato. Now don't rush, nice and steady. What a nice sauce coming on here. Our tomatoes, we're just going to chop those with a pair of scissors. And just chuck them in. It doesn't matter if you've got bits of tomato in your spaghetti. We all know there's tomato in spaghetti. So if you have some big bits, a nice little one of those, you know, and when it cooks down, if you don't want to see tomato in there, give it a squash. And you want to be going in there with some water. This is straight out the kettle, look. That's going to give us our sauce. Now you could have used stock if you wanted. You can put in veg stock, chicken stock. But you know, be careful of the salt levels if you do that, because we're already putting salt and pepper in. So just bring that up to a little simmering boil. We're going to put our meatballs back in, and we're going to put a lid on. And back in there with our meatballs. How easy is that? Right, we want a simmer, and we stick a lid on. We cook for 10 minutes. In that 10 minutes, get a pan of water up to the boil, and we're going to start our spaghetti off. So, boiling salted water. As much spaghetti as you and your family are going to eat. In there. Just let it do its thing, it'll sink down. Follow the packet instructions until it is nearly cooked, and then drain it. Within your 10 minutes of cooking, just make sure nothing is stuck. Okay, when you've had a good 10 minutes on there, oh, look at those. Just give it a little loosening. Oh, they're fine. Nothing stuck there. Right, 5 minutes, lid off. See if we can thicken this a little bit. Oh, look at that. That looks a bit special. Okay, that is enough there. Look, we're gonna, if we're not careful, we won't have any sauce. That is fine. Come on, let's get that served up. Come on there. Oh. And then on there with our meatballs. Parsley and a little bit more parmesan. That is absolutely fabulous. Easy recipe, that one. Come on, I've got my babe, I'm going to be covered in this. In here on these chicken meatballs, come on, in there. Oh, look at them. Look how they've held up. That is sensational. That is absolutely delicious. That's moist. It's, look at the moisture in there. Herby flavour is fantastic. Now this is what I'm going to slurp all over. Oh, the sauce is delicious. It's lightweight, it's absolutely fantastic, it's delicious. These meatballs are so soft and tender, quick, easy, and you know, relatively inexpensive, because we made the chicken balls, we made the pasta sauce. Easy, delightful, absolutely delightful. Well, there you go. How easy is that? If you like what we're doing, don't forget, share with your friends. Tell them how easy it is to make these very succulent, look at that, very succulent herby chicken meatballs and spaghetti. Fantastic. If you like what we're doing, a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, ring that bell. Catch you in the next video.